With rain, crashes, and long days through mud, it's safe to say we didn't quite expect this journey to be as difficult as it was. For this expedition, we set out to traverse one of the least densely populated countries in the entire world to get a taste of how the world once was before all the paved roads, bridges, and modernization. A taste of the wild, vast Mongolia. For us, this was more than just a ride on dirt tracks. In a sense, it was a pilgrimage back to a Wild West, where we had the chance to roam freely, chase animals, meet the nomadic people, and experience the inevitable challenges that come with the journey. But before making it out to the countryside, our journey begins in Ulaanbaatar, a city which, after its transition from a centrally planned to a market-based economy in 1991, became a growing and youthful city that houses roughly half the population of the entire country. Over the next 8 days, we'll be riding over 1,000 kilometers into the countryside, with our first destination being Alsantasarkai, also known as the Mini Gobi. And to make it out deeper into the countryside as quickly as possible, we opted to hit the tarmac for around 280 kilometers for our first day. And honestly, it didn't take us too long to get a glimpse of just how sparsely populated this country would be. The ride on tarmac was long and tiring, but finally, after a full day on the road, the only riding left before making it to our accommodation was to make it through a stretch of sand. For many of us, this was the first time riding on sand, making it the perfect challenge to wrap up the day. And for others, it was a chance to let loose after almost an entire day stuck on tarmac. And just like that, we had finally made it to the countryside. Before heading to sleep in our gurs, we decided to try one of the local drinks here.
Cheers!
Okay, cheers. Made by milk. And this is very fresh because they went to that.
Cheers.
What is this?
Horse
Beer's
milk.
Oh no, is this
Cheers,
the
buddy.
horse milk?
Here
What?
it is. This is
it.
the one.
Oh
Cheers.
my god.
That is the one that you want.
Whoa!
Not for me.
Wow!
Whoa.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Right? Now you understand.
The next morning, we of course had to hit a quick race with the locals before finally heading out to our next destination. At some point throughout the day, we thought it would be a good idea to place a bet on whether or not it was possible to land a shot on a moving target. And the answer is yes. And after a bit of sightseeing, it was finally time to hit the dirt. Something we learned pretty early on about riding Mongolia is that there's very few physical boundaries and you can sort of just ride wherever, although we did get ahead of ourselves in a few places.
Holy shit.
However, it wasn't always a big problem since we were always with each other and in good company. With all the free roaming we were doing, it was honestly hard to stay focused on our route because really it felt like everywhere you went was a playground. After some river crossings and a few hiccups, we finally made our way to our accommodation. And the next morning we got right back on the bikes and had to mentally prepare ourselves for a full day of mud. We tried pretty hard to hold just enough traction to keep the handlebars straight, but eventually, one by one, we all had trouble and ended up dropping the bikes a few times. But with lots of kilometers ahead of us, we just had to keep on going. And eventually we made it through a pretty tough downhill section and learned that we weren't the only ones having trouble. Our chase vehicle had gotten stuck in some deep ruts, and it was pretty obvious that we were not going to get out of there easily. Since out here there's no tow truck you can call, we all dived in and tried to figure out just how we were going to get it out. Luckily, a family passed by and came out to help us, and with the entire group we all ended up using makeshift levers, and after some grit we all got it free. Afterwards, we asked why the family came out to help, and they responded that it's simply the right thing to do.
Get some beers. It's all on us. He said his friends don't drink beer, so he's gonna come to our camp and drink beers.
At some point throughout the day, we realized that long days on the trail, getting stuck, and relying on community is simply a way of life without tarmac. It's the way of life people here travel, not for adventure riding, but merely to get from point A to point B.
He just forgot the turn, dude. He just forgot. Yeah. Small mistake.
After a long day of riding, we eventually made it to our accommodation just in time to hit the hot springs and get some rest. The next day, we did something a little bit different by visiting one of the nomadic families and getting a sense of how they live. They treated us to some homemade food, we got to know a little bit more about each other, and we even got a few Mongolian wrestling lessons. Eventually, the mud dried up and we started to make some good progress. Despite the rocky terrain, dust in the air, we were beginning to cover some serious ground, and things started to come together. The landscape was vast and beautiful, locals were coming up to us starting conversations, and we were even making it through some of the more challenging rocky terrain. Unfortunately, it wasn't all easy riding, and after some time went on, the terrain started to take a toll on us. Crashes became more frequent and more damaging.
We started riding. I was a little excited to get out of the rain and going a little fast, and was next to the truck. And I was going too fast to slow down or brake or turn, and the truck turned left. And I had a choice to make of slamming into the truck or trying to turn left over some like rocks and hard packed dirt, and I went left and I smashed into the ground, which felt like I hit like a boulder. Not too good.
Despite the falls, we kept pushing forward and prepared for one last challenge of the trip. We spent the night near Mongolia's largest freshwater lake, also known as Kufskull Lake, and in the morning we headed out for the mountains. The day started out by riding through some of the heaviest rain we've experienced so far on the trip, but thankfully it eventually cleared up, and after a lot of potholes and rocky roads, it was time to make the climb up to the top of the mountain. This was some of the steepest and technical riding we've done on the trip, but it was very much worth the view at the top.
It feels like we've gone back a couple of centuries before modern technology existed in a lot of ways. Relationships just seem a lot more important here, and I do wonder if that's because there's kind of a lack of technology and people aren't so reliant on their phones and aren't staring at their phones all day.
And wonder how long they can maintain this unique environment. You know, will it be discovered and will it be loved to death by tourism and having ever more roads come in and just this wilderness that's here now go away?
Since the fall of the Soviet Union and Mongolia's transition to a market-based economy, many families flocked towards the cities and in turn left behind the nomadic lifestyle. That's just one of the many changes that are happening. There's no doubt that with enough time, most things do change in some way. It's hard to say what exactly the future holds for such a vast region, but for us, we know that the connections and memories we made on this journey are something we'll carry with us forever.